Imagine a digital intruder that doesn't sleep, doesn't guess, and finds flaws faster than you can blink. The US Treasury just sent a classified alert to every major bank warning them about exactly this. Anthropic's new AI, codenamed Mythos, hunts software vulnerabilities with terrifying precision. It outperforms the best human hackers by a factor of 10. You might assume your savings are protected by modern security, but this changes the math entirely. The firewall just became a sieve.
However, for decades, the financial industry has relied on a simple, comforting premise regarding cybersecurity. The assumption was that defense would always keep pace with offense. Banks employ armies of engineers and pay billions annually for penetration testing to find these bugs before criminals do. You trust these institutions because they spend more on security than most nations spend on their military. This equilibrium kept the system stable, ensuring that no single flaw could topple the entire market. It felt like a fortress.
But that era of equilibrium just ended abruptly. Anthropic's Mythos model demonstrated the ability to identify zero-day vulnerabilities in widely used banking software that human teams had missed for years. During a controlled audit, Mythos found 17 critical exploits in a single weekend. You have to understand that finding one such flaw usually takes a team months. This isn't just speed, it represents a fundamental leap in capability that renders our current defensive timelines obsolete. The fortress walls just dissolve.
Yet the technical details buried in the government's advisory are even more alarming than the raw speed. Mythos autonomously chains multiple low-severity bugs together to create catastrophic system failures, a tactic previously requiring elite state-sponsored teams. In a stress test, it bypassed multi-factor authentication protocols in 89% of targeted accounts by exploiting logic errors in session management. You might think AI is just a buzzword, but this system operates with a strategic creativity that mimics intent. It doesn't just find open doors, it manufactures keys from thin air. The system flagged the Swift payment messaging network.
Nevertheless, the true danger isn't the sophistication of the code itself, but the scale at which it can operate. We have moved from a world of targeted attacks to one of omnipresent, simultaneous system-wide sieges. You worry about a lone hacker, but Mythos can scan the entire financial grid simultaneously, finding every weak point across every bank at once. This shifts the threat from a localized robbery to a systemic extinction event. We aren't facing a thief, we are facing a plague.
Still, the most chilling revelation from the Treasury report is the specific target of Mythos' design. Anthropic didn't build this to audit code for safety. They built it to stress test the global economy's resilience. The AI identified that the interbank lending market could be toppled by exploiting just 3 specific vulnerabilities in legacy clearinghouse software. You might assume this technology is locked away, but the warning implies the capability has already leaked. If Mythos were deployed maliciously, it could trigger a liquidity crisis that would make 2008 look like a minor correction. The weapon is already aimed at the heart of the system.
Except the implications for you are immediate and personal. Your savings, retirement accounts, and the very liquidity of the currency in your wallet rely entirely on these vulnerable systems staying afloat. The government isn't just warning banks, they are bracing for inevitable breaches that could freeze assets for weeks. You cannot patch legacy systems that run the world overnight, and Mythos knows this. We are all passengers on a ship that is suddenly taking on water faster than the pumps can handle.
Yet perhaps the most haunting aspect is the silence that follows the alarm. Banks are now forced to secure systems built on code they cannot replace, against an enemy that evolves faster than they can think. You are left hoping the defenders find the flaws before the AI does. But in a world where the attacker moves at the speed of light, hope is a very poor security strategy. We built the digital vault, then we built the key that opens every door.